Hello students! I hope you liked part 1 of the video, how to graph a graph using a restricted domain. Now we're going to deal with graphing inequalities. How do we get some shading into that artwork? Shading. So let's continue on using that graph we were using it a minute ago. I had square root of x using restricted domain of 0 to 5. And let's say that I just wanted to shade underneath that graph. I could just go y is less than x square root of x, and then it now shades below that graph, as in it's shading less than. But wait, maybe I don't want those dotted lines. So instead of doing less than, I could do less than or equal to. Then it does. Then it shades below. Now, you notice how it shades all the way below forever? That's kind of an issue. So maybe I only want it to shade in between 0 and like shade in quadrant 1. I don't want it to shade way down in bottom in quadrant 4. So what I could do is I could, along with restricting the domain, I could restrict the range. So immediately after my domain restriction, I then restrict the range, and let's see, it would be from 0 up till at 5, the y value square root 5. So I would need to say 0 is less than y. Oh wait, that worked. Y is greater than 0. Oh, of course, and then it'd still be below the graph. I guess I don't need to say, I was going to say less than square root of 5, because then it's graphing within the restricted domain and the restricted range. But what I also just self-discovered is that just saying y is greater than 0, and then not doing that second part also gets the job done. That is technique 1. There is another technique, and this one's a little bit more complicated, but this is what I'm going to do. Is I'm going to have, if you're going to use the second technique, instead of calling it y, you need to call it f of x. So I'm going to call it f of x, but there's going to be more than one f of x, and I need to identify the difference between each one. So it's going to be f1 of x is square root of x in between 0 and 5. That did not do what I wanted it to. Let me see. We only plot inequalities of x. Oh, that's right. If you're going to be doing this technique on the f of x part, you can't use less than. You need to use equal. I'm trying to do an equals to. Here we go. Equals. There we go. So we have f1 of x equals square root of x in between 0 and 5. Now I want to shade in between 0 and that graph like I did before. So my second f of x, so this is going to be f2 of x. So down here I hit the ABC, and then I hit this button right here. That gives me, what's that called, the subscript maybe? f2 of x. And then this one I just want to be the horizontal line along y equals 0. So I'm just going to say equals 0. And then there's that blue graph. And then for the shading, what I would need to say is that if I want to shade in between graph 2 and graph 1, I need to say that graph 1 is greater than graph 2. So I'm going to say f subscript, I'm going to say subscript, I hope it's the right word, f1 of x is greater than f subscript 2 of x. And I get that. That did not give me the shading I wanted. Why didn't it give me the shading I wanted? What did Elliot do wrong? If it's graphing between 0 and this, f of is greater than f2 of x, that's always true. Oh, no, nuts. Okay, Elliot's confused. He's going to need to access work he did earlier. Give Elliot 10 seconds. Oh, how embarrassing. This is super embarrassing. Sign in. Elliot. Password. Go to my saved works, Elliot person skiing downhill. Open this graph. What did I do here? Oh, I have to put a y. It says here I need to put a y in the middle. Okay, oh, that's right. Okay, so then the y value greater than. There you go. Okay, so how I did this differently, I don't like that dotted, so I need to put it as a greater than or equal to, and greater than or equal to. Okay, so you need to include the y. So simply saying that f of 1 is greater than f of 2. F of 1 is always greater than f of 2, so it's shaded for that entire region. But on this one, we're saying that the y value of f of 1 is greater than the y value of f of 2, so then that shade in between them. And then how this is handy is that you could quickly change things like f2, like you could change it to 2, and then it only shades in between 2 and that square root 5. That's unexciting. What if I put it as a 1? There you go. So then it shades in between 1 and the graph. Okay, that is how you graph inequalities and provide shading in between graphs. You can do this with multiple graphs. It doesn't just have to be 2 of them. And as you're working through this, if you're getting stuck, call over Mr. Elliott. He'll help you out as best he can. Thanks, everybody. I hope you have yourselves a beautiful rest of your weekend. And if you're watching this on Monday, do your homework. Bye-bye.